Some say the media are the watchdogs, keeping an eye on what the government does and how much its workers disclose. Now there's a website that does just that for local, city, and state governments. Tom Lee is the director of Sunlight Labs at the Sunlight Foundation. Tell me more about the website. Sounds fascinating.
Sure. Well, opengovernment.org is an attempt to make it easier for the public to see what their state legislatures are doing. It's created by our friends at the Participatory Politics Foundation, who are the people behind opencongress.org. Some of your viewers might be familiar with that.
Right.
Both of these websites attempt to provide information about legislators, legislation, and the interplay between the two of them. In the case of opengovernment.org, there's also some interesting information about how money in politics plays out at the state level.
What ensures that this is accurate? Because people say, oh, if it's on the internet, it must be accurate. But so many of these, or some of these, like Wikipedia, you've always got to be sure that what you're reading is actually factual. How do you cross the T's and dot the I's?
Well, Open Government is built on a project that Sunlight maintains called the Open States Project. And that's an effort to pull this information on a nightly basis from every state's website. And as you can imagine, each state maintains the information in slightly different ways. So there's a lot of work to be done to get it into a unified format. But we take great pains to make sure that we keep an audit trail showing when we pulled each piece of information, where it came from, what page it was found on.
How many states are participating so far that you've pulled information from?
OpenGovernment.org launched with support for 5 states, including Maryland, California, Texas, Wisconsin, and Louisiana. In the Open States Project, we have excellent support for 12 more states right now and substantial progress on many more. We're currently looking for the resources to continue expanding OpenGov and Open States.
So your goal is to get everybody on board. Any difficulties so far with some of these states?
Yeah, you know, a lot of these websites are hanging by a thread, to be honest, particularly given the budget situation in a lot of state governments. The people working on them are doing their best to do a good job, but it's not a priority. We've encountered some really unbelievable problems. Often we were the ones to let the state government know about them. In one case, we discovered a Y2K-like bug where a state was actually overwriting its historical records, the only information about legislation. Another state we actually found had been hacked by Russian pornographers. We were the first ones to let them know.
They mean well. None of these states and their websites are trying to hide the facts or do anything wrong. They're just not used to the current technology and really getting the information out there then. Is that right?
Yeah, you know, when we call them up, the people who answer the phone frequently say, we'd love to help, but I'm the only guy left here. So we think it's vitally important to make sure that this data is put in a preservable and reusable format, and that's the point of our project.
I suppose it used to be that the states thought their websites were more of a tourism site than an information site, but everything's changed now to transparency, getting the word out. What else do you hope to achieve through this, and what else has to be done?
Well, of course, we want to expand the coverage. We want to start looking for ways in which model legislation is pushed by special interests from state to state. I mean, so much important activity occurs at the state level, from questions about civil rights to education to land use. We also want to make sure that we enable other projects to use this data. It's all freely available, and OpenGov, we think, is a great use of the Open States Project data, but really any developer is welcome to come in and find uses for this information displayed in new ways.
Where do we go again on the website?
OpenGovernment.org is the public-facing site that will allow a really user-friendly experience for the public. For developers who are interested in using the data or in contributing to the project, getting more states online, they should Google for the Open States Project or visit sunlightfoundation.com.
Tom Lee, our guest on Capital Insider. Information is power. Thank you.
Thank you.